the end of December, we're gonna plow some ground, northern Minnesota. Got my little buddy with me. What do you think? So we're gonna plow a field that hadn't been hayed in probably 10, 11, 12 years. And it's right at the end of my road. And I asked the landowner about cutting it a few years back. And I cut it with, I think 2 years in a row. And the brush was 4 feet high, 5 feet high. And I mowed it all off with a disc vine. And this year we actually didn't cut it because there's so much hay around and we were short on time and it rained all spring. So we were far behind with everything and it was just one of the poorest fields, so we decided not to cut it. But anyhow, the ground's not froze yet. We got some snow and we're gonna try and tip it under. We got a 7-bottom melroe. It's an old world plow. And we'll see what it can do. As you can see, there's some snow on the ground, but we got the snow before it really got cold, and it's probably close to 30 degrees right now, so we'll see what we can get done. So we had problems all morning. This tractor sat for 2 months, the batteries were dead, it wouldn't charge, so it kicked me out of gear. Batteries got too low going down the road and wouldn't stay in gear for me. Plow was frozen to the ground. It's been a fun day. Fuel filter plugged up on the tractor. This field has also got a bunch of alders in, and Dad's going to do some cat work with the D4 here. We're at the field. Again, it's right at the end of my road. And well, you'll see it when we get up there, but it's pretty poor shape. So as you can see, there's a lot of brush, tamarack trees. Like I said, when I first cut it, it hadn't been cut in 10 years, and there was brush. It was 6 feet high, and I just mowed them off with a disc vine. But anyhow, there's an island out there. You can see it's really tall brush, and everybody says there's a sinkhole out there. And whatever, but Dad's gonna get that brush out of there, and there's a lot of elevation change towards the other end of the field. It's a lot lower. Anyhow, he's gonna ditch that out, and then he'll probably cut a ditch from that sinkhole up to the corner of this field up there, because I know there's kind of a low spot there where that snow is. I can focus here, right there, in front of that crow. So yeah, I'm gonna start on both edges of this field, and I'm gonna plow it all in. Eating some fruit snacks. I made him a buddy seat out of an old Ford jump seat. I'm gonna be plugged up with root balls and frustrated all day in this old field, but we're gonna drop her in and see what she does. So it's not going too great. I'm spinning with all the snow on this side of the field. That ground's really hard. Probably hasn't worked in 40 years. But it's tipping over anyhow. I ain't plugging up with root balls yet, so that's good. See all the snow blew to this side of the field. I was spinning. She seemed to have hooked up a little bit. Yeah, I'm spinning some more. I thought I could see an old dead furrow here, right there on this side of the spruce trees. These fields grow up so fast here. See the brush all along the edge. You know, I think that's an old ditch actually. That far corner is kind of wet. It's too big to be a dead furrow. You can't really see it in the camera, I guess, because it's brushy, but it's actually tipping over pretty decent now. Once we get out of this snowdrift in the edge of the field, we'll do pretty good. We'll kick it up some, it'll go a little faster anyhow. I got Trent over the log. We'll see if she plows under. Yeah. Maybe it's just an anthill. Lots of anthills in this stuff. It's actually December 30th. I think it's a new record for me plowing up here in northern Minnesota. Pretty impressive. So this side's not plowing very good. The other side's plowing pretty decent, but this ground is almost sandy, which is kind of abnormal for this area. I'm still in the snowbank, so I'm struggling. It's pushed my plow out of the dead furrow. But I think we'll get there. Again, this is on the other side of the field, but it's almost sandy here. This side's plowing up way nicer. You know, and I realize I'm not doing the best job here, but considering what we're working with here, this field ain't been plowed up in years, like probably 50 years, and that's not exaggeration. Turning under really good right here. This plow you gotta keep teasing around to get the depth right. I don't know. Be cutting 4 inches deep, then all of a sudden we'll start cutting a foot deep. I don't know if it's the ground conditions or just the way the plow is. Maybe I just don't know how to set up a plow. If somebody could teach me, I'd be very grateful. A lot of areas in this field have been people cut around way back in the day and got really growed up. It's kind of a low spot here, but I'm trying to reclaim it. No, there she froze there, I guess. I don't know why it was so frozen right there, but break these shear bolts. I've done it before. But the funny thing is, this one swung back and got caught on the top with the moldboard behind it. I came in and used the cat to get that bottom moved over. Just kind of waiting for him to come and help me, but he's up in La La Land as usual. Cutting some ditches from that island down here. There's a lot of elevation change. It really drops off at the end of this field. So, my windows of the tractor are so dirty you can't see much out here. You can see the ditch he's working on. It's going from up there down into the woods. He's got it ditched out so far, but it looks good. Scratching here on this hill, I don't know why. 3.1 miles an hour. Third gear, 91. It's only 200 horsepower, so she ain't a real powerhouse. Coming up to that frozen patch, we'll see what else we break when we get up here. Sure is flipping over pretty good right there, though. Just stay out of there, but I hate leaving parts of fields untouched to grow up in the brush. And then we begin the long trek to the other side. But as we get more passes in, it takes less and less time to run to the other side. This is what I hate about plowing, running back to the other side to keep your dead furrow in the same spot, in one spot. So the idea here is the dead furrow will be down the middle of the field. But the way I plow, you got dead furrow every 7 bottoms. So I'm making a really big mess here. So down here in this low spot, there's really thick slough grass. Every time I go through it, it's just that grass alone is plugging the plow up, and then she won't even go on the ground. So I got a big wad in there right now, right in the front bottom. So I don't know if you can see it. Drop the front end down out here randomly on its own and see if that'll skate out of there. Probably have to back up. Picks her back up when I go back ahead. Slides her along anyhow. But it might come out of there when I drop it back in the ground. And now we gotta pick up where we made a mess and left off. Try and straighten her out. See the big mess we made here. It's just that thick grass over there. Plugging our plow off. Well, I guess it's a scraper now. As soon as we went back in there, we just scraped up all the sod. Just plugged it up instantly. Try and back that out of there too, I guess. So a little bit of backstory here. We've reclaimed a bunch of these fields because there's really no other farmers in the area. So a lot of these fields have sat and growed up in the brush for 20, 30 years. Hadn't been worked up in probably 50 years. And it takes so long to plow these up. And moldboarding is really the best way to do it, unless you have maybe a big heavy wish cutting disc or something. But we didn't want to spend the money for one of those. But you're always fighting the sod. Everything's so sod bound, you know, mud, root balls, alder roots along the woods. There's spruce roots, poplar roots that go out 20 yards. But we took some old junky fields and made them pretty nice. So hopefully this one will turn out pretty good in maybe 2 years. So last time these fields were plowed, you know, it was with a 2-bottom tractor, or 2-bottom tractor and a 2-bottom plow, WD-45 Alice's and Farmall H's and M's, maybe some Ford 9Ns. Well, he went up in the island finally and sort of messing around. Maybe you can kind of see the elevation change here at the end of the field, going up towards that island. So I told Dad to go shave that slough grass off for me. He wants me to come down there and see what I can do. So we'll see what kind of mess we make now. Well, it's working. I mean, it's in this wet ground that it's so soddy. I don't like to flip over very good, but looks like it worked. Bladed it off for me. Bladed that grass off. Probably can't tell, but it did a way better job too. So got a game plan now. He had to go load of hay trucks, so we've been sending step decks south like 2 a day. So I'll work on the other side for a while till he gets back here. That's the way it all should look. Flipping over that good. But given the conditions, that isn't how it works. But still, for December 30th in northern Minnesota, when the ground's usually rock hard, going pretty good. Just can't get over how nice the ground is in this field. This is uncommonly light soil for this area. One of my loads of hay leaving the yard. Dad loaded them up. A few passes on her. Getting there. Figured I better do the headlands in case it freezes where I'm driving on it. So we're just been making circles around her now. So there's some stupidity for you. He's filling my dead furrow in. I'm not sure the thought process behind that, but that is really irritating. I got everything that I drove on. I plowed everything, so hopefully it won't freeze tonight. We can finish it up tomorrow. That's all. So we're back, plowing her up. I had work last night, so I had to go home and sleep. Got to work tonight. So I don't know if I'm going to get it today, but if I don't get it today, then it's going to freeze, and it'll be done for the year, I think. Unless it gets warm again. But we'll get what we can get. That'll be all. My pin hopped out, and broke a bunch of hydraulic lines. Went and got fittings to fix them on the pickup. Got all the right stuff. So we gotta hook her back up. Keep plowing. flipping over. It ain't pretty, but nice ground. See that sod, sometimes it'll go all the way over. This thing pulls me all over. It's hard to keep a nice straight dead furrow. Sure, a lot of grips, maybe dead furrows, but I'm just trying to rip her open. It ain't been touched in years, so should do her good. So to prove to everyone that I can actually plow straight, I decided to start another pass here to save some time. The dead furrow on this windrow, or on this hump, I mean. Dad's out tearing up the alders. Just getting her whittled down here. Yeah, look at that nice straight dead furrow to follow. Tipping her over though, that's all that matters. I think my pin broke that time, something went flying. I'm sure it broke some more lines too. Looks like we only broke that hose, that's when we just put on, because that aluminum piece busted. And it pulled this line out. So we have this hydraulic line on hand, but there's where the pin lays right there. I'm not sure how it came out. We had it wired in, so that's that. At this point, I'm just trying to get it ripped up. Plowing the 6 bottoms now. We broke another shear pin, so that front bottom's always in a state of reset. So going a little further over on the dead furrow. Gotta go to work soon. I ain't gonna get her today, and she's gonna be froze up tomorrow, I'm sure. So you see that front bottom. You probably can't tell. It's bouncing down. It's kind of always in a state of reset. It's gonna pin broke out of it. But it definitely pulls easier with one less bottom. Anyhow, we've got a 6 bottom going on here. We just put our inner dual kind of in the dead furrow. Good plowing guys will aid me. Dad's got the alders cleaned up pretty good there. Got that island out of there, that's nice. He's got a ditch going down through there. 2 froze there for some reason. It's got all these alders and the frost must have traveled in on them. So another spot we'll have to dig up with something in the spring. His first breakdown, the brush shut his fuel off, so now his fuel loss is crying. He's going to put some starting fluid and let the cat on starting fluid. Fuel gets pumped back up. One of my final paths here, I'm making a mess. It's snowing, it's like 25 degrees, so it's probably freezing the ground. Still hoofing away with 6 bottoms. Really didn't leave too much to muddle around with in the spring. Here it is, the final pass of 2024. It's December 31st. And I didn't see him finish it, but I got to go to work. Well, I was able to go on the next day and finish plowing everything. So it looks like Dad's he's got a pretty nice ditch cut through there. Still working at it, but everything done. You see, we got a little snow last night, so you can see where the stuff I plowed today versus the stuff that had